What's up, movie crew? Welcome to the second half of the 1K Q&A. All right, yesterday I answered all the non-movie questions that everyone had for me. Today we are going to be doing some movie-related questions. Now, before I do get started with those questions, there are two that I am going to answer over here just because I feel like not everyone watched that one. So some of those I will answer here. And one of them is also kind of relevant to one of the big questions that I did get asked that is going to be in this Q&A. All right, so one of the questions I got asked in the non-movie one that I need to answer here because it's going to be brought up again later. What I do outside of Let's Watch a Movie. For those that are unaware, I am an independent author. I will have my Amazon page down below for anyone that wants to check out some stuff. If you're a reader and you're looking for something, I'm multi-genre, so just let me know what genre you like to read and I will either DM you question or book links on Instagram, or I will just tell you if you're not on social media, here's some genres that I write, here's some books in those genres, and some of them might be anthologies where I'm not the only one. And another question was, am I ever open to meeting other movie YouTubers or people that follow and subscribe to me? Yes, I am absolutely down with that. I live in Virginia for anyone that does live in Virginia, and with some of the stuff I do with writing, I attend a lot of Comic-Cons. That's where I sell a lot of my books. And I do a lot of Comic-Cons in both Virginia and North Carolina across both states. So if you live in Northern Virginia, I do go to Northern Virginia sometimes. I live in Central Virginia. I do quite a few Comic-Cons in North Carolina, so I'm also in that area as well. And for anyone that just wants to meet up in general, I'm not against the idea, but I do still have a day job, so I kind of have to be able to balance when I can take time off. Simple as that. And yes, I'm also willing to meet and work with other movie YouTubers and stuff like that. Now that we got those out of the way, let's get started with this Q&A. All right, how did Let's Watch a Movie get started? Like I said before, independent author. That's actually how I got started on YouTube in the first place. I set up a YouTube channel as a means to promote my books. And because I knew what I was doing early on, a lot of people didn't get to see the trial and error with Writer 434 that you might see with other channels. So because of that, people were kind of curious about some of the other aspects of me as a person. And I gave everyone an incentive that if they met this incentive, I would do something non-book related. And here we are with Let's Watch a Movie. 2 years later, we are at 1,000 subscribers. So thank you for that. All right, can I name off some of my favorite movies? All right. My favorite movie ever, and I know usually people will pick some classic from the 70s or 80s or something like that. My favorite movie ever is the first Matrix movie. I feel like that movie had everything in it as far as action, sci-fi, the fight sequences in there, revolutionized what we get with fight sequences. The story was really good. Yeah, the franchise as a whole kind of went off the rails at some point, but the first movie to me is still a classic. It is my favorite movie ever. I watch that movie once, sometimes twice a year. In the horror realm, my favorite slasher movie is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When this channel first started, that particular year, I got the privilege of seeing the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre in theaters. That was amazing. My favorite non-slasher horror film, I would have to say, is The Omen. That movie scared the shit out of me when I first saw it, and I didn't watch it until I was like 18 because my mom did not like the idea of me watching a movie about the birth of the Antichrist. As far as action movies go, because I'm a comic book person, like, I'm going to end up naming off like comic book movies where I know most people here would probably pick Predator or Rambo or some random Arnold or Sylvester Stallone movie. And while I own quite a few of those and I like them, I can't say that any of those are my favorites. As far as animation goes, my favorite animated movies are, I would say Monsters, Inc. is my favorite Pixar movie. 101 Dalmatians is my favorite animated Disney movie. Batman Mask of the Phantasm is probably my favorite superhero movie, period. Like, I cannot say enough good things about Mask of the Phantasm. Rest in peace to Kevin Conroy. And because I have done some A24 stuff on here, if you haven't seen some of those, my favorite A24 film is probably Ex Machina. My favorite slasher film, or one of my favorite like franchises in horror, is probably the Nightmare franchise. So there's some of them, and I'm sure I could like name all. Given you always complain about lengthy runtimes, can you name some lengthy movies you're a fan of? Absolutely. So, if you've ever seen any of my movie reviews, my biggest complaint with almost all of them is that I hate that certain movies have long runtimes. It is the reason why I didn't see Avatar: Way of Water in theaters. It's the reason I haven't seen Babylon in theaters. It was the reason I couldn't see John Wick 4 right away. And there's more to it than just it's a long movie. But as far as like lengthy movies that I like, I did mention this before. The Batman was one of my favorite movies of 2022, and that was almost 3 hours long. John Wick Chapter 4 was amazing. That's almost 3 hours long. With the exception of Silence, I would probably say any Martin Scorsese movie I love. The Departed is probably one of my favorite movies of his, and that one's almost 3 hours. Wolf of Wall Street, love that one. It's almost 3 hours. Like, other than Silence definitely feeling like a lengthy movie, every lengthy Scorsese movie I still enjoy. I recently watched 10 Commandments recently. That's almost a 4-hour runtime. It was good. Recently bought Lawrence of Arabia. Love that movie. It's lengthy. So yes, I do like some lengthy movies, and if it's earned the runtime or it tells a story and there's nothing you can really trim out without taking away from the movie, I'm down with that. But a lot of these movies are a little too self-indulgent. But yes, I do like some lengthy movies. And I forgot one. One of my favorite movies is Scarface, and that's a 3-hour movie. Alright, so this next question, similar to one I probably should have combined with earlier, and that is, what are some of my favorite shows? As you know, I don't just buy physical media for movies, I also buy TV shows if it's something I'm a huge fan of. Alright, so I think the biggest one that most people already know is the Arrowverse, because I've got an Arrowverse collection video. By the way, thank you to everyone that's watched that. It's one of my most viewed videos. It's got my highest retention. So yeah, there's that. Outside of comic book stuff, I watched Midnight Mass a while back, and that was great. My favorite show is probably going to be Person of Interest, which was made by Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan's brother. And that was the show he did before Westworld. And it stars Jim Caviezel and Michael Emerson. As far as like some of the classic shows, I love Twilight Zone and Andy Griffith. Those are probably my two favorite classic shows. As far as animated stuff goes, Batman the Animated Series, obviously. Since I'm wearing this, huge fan of Rugrats, huge fan of Rocco. I also enjoyed Invader Zim. I wish that show would have gotten to last a little bit longer than it did. I enjoyed the first few seasons of Fargo. I thought the first few seasons I enjoyed more so because it felt more in line with the movie. I'm not saying I hate the current ones. I just don't really enjoy them as much as the first few. So I'd say those are the main ones. What are some videos that you plan to do in the future, and what are some videos we should not expect to happen? Alright, so right now the biggest ones that I tend to do are weekly hauls, movie reviews, and a roundup showing off everything that I've watched through the previous month. I eventually want to do more just discussion videos with movies. Like I definitely want to do, I've seen a lot of people do like original versus remakes, and I've got quite a few movies where I own both an original and a remake, or even being a comic book fan, owning the Tim Burton Batman movies and the Christopher Nolan Batman movies. So I would definitely like to do something like that. Another idea I have, I'm not sure if it would be something on Let's Watch a Movie or something on Writer 434, but that is to do videos where I compare a book with either its movie or its TV show. Because in my most recent one, I mentioned I watched season 1 of 13 Reasons Why, and I was reading the book as I was going along with the TV show. Again, I'm not sure where that one would be better off at, but I would love to do something like that one. As far as videos to never expect on here, I am never going to be doing trailer reactions for a couple of different reasons. The biggest one being either my reaction when I first see a trailer is either I have a complete cold reaction where I'm just sitting there, all right, I might see it, or nah, not for me. Or I'm just overhyping the shit out of a video where it's like, yes, I've got to see this, I've got to see this, or ah! And it could be something completely stupid. So part of it is that. Another part of it is copyright issues. Yes, I am aware of fair use. Fair use does not always work. I know this from following reaction channels. So don't ever ask me to do a trailer reaction because it's going to get rejected. Another video that I've mentioned before not to expect is me showing off my entire collection. And I've kind of compromised here where I'll show off portions of my collection. Like I recently did my entire MCU collection. I did my entire DCEU collection. Closer towards the release of Fast 10, I'm going to show off my entire Fast and Furious collection. The reason you're not going to get the entire collection is I have over 3,000 movies. And when I did the upload for my MCU collection, that video took almost 2 days to upload. I don't want to think about how long it's going to take for an entire collection video. So, not going to. Notice you haven't done any new release Tuesday videos. Are there going to be more, and when can we start seeing new release videos again? I have not really done as many new release videos for a few different reasons. even though a lot of them have gotten a lot of decent views, at the end of the day, while I might have like 400 views on a New Release Tuesday video on my end where I can see like the audience retention and stuff like that, it's usually very, very poor. Like, we're talking, if I have a 12-minute New Release Tuesday video, the average view duration sometimes ain't even a minute long. So part of it's that, but also as someone who does like regularly check out places to see who has what, one of the biggest issues I've had recently has also been that, say something comes out this Tuesday. Well, 2 weeks later, it's probably on sale. It used to be that something would come out, be cheap-ish its first week, and then a couple months down the road is when you'd see a price cut. Well, now, it might be $1 or $2 cheaper the first week, and not even 2 weeks later, it's on sale for like half the price. A big example on this for me is I buy the DC animated movies. 2 weeks after Batman the Doom That Came to Gotham came out, it had already went from being $24.99 to $14.99. So why buy something day one if 2 weeks later it's going to be anywhere from $5 cheaper to even having its price cut in half? So because of that, I've had some difficulties justifying going out every Tuesday to pick up stuff. And also, it's not exactly one of the things that has the best retention rate as far as some of the videos on the channel go. I'm not against doing new release videos in the future. It's just they're not going to be frequent. And I've had a lot more retention with doing my weekly haul videos that I post on Sundays, because people can see what all I bought. I usually mention like, hey, I got this here, I got this here, I got this for this amount, that sort of thing. So I feel like I've compromised there. So you still get to see what physical media I've bought throughout the week, and if it's something really special, then I'll definitely do an unboxing whenever whatever it is shows up at my house. But beyond that, if a new release video happens in the future, it happens. If not, believe me, it's not just oh, I don't want to go out on Tuesdays. It's a lot of different reasons. Given you've mentioned being a writer, do you ever wish to see any of your books, short stories, etc. turned into a movie or TV show? So, one, of course, I would love to see some of that stuff happen, but believe it or not, that has actually already happened. So, this is the independent film Bedbugs, directed by Matthew Mark Hunter. I will have his channel in a pinned comment down below for MMH Productions. He is an independent director based out in Ohio. And Bedbugs is an anthology movie. Think something like Creepshow, for example. And 2 of the 5 shorts in the movie are 2 of my short stories. The Boogeyman, which is a horror comedy thing. And When the Camera Stopped Rolling, which is a meta/zombie story. And a while back, he also did a short film for one of my poems titled Sad Crying Clown. I will have the link down below for anyone that would like to check out the short film to Sad Crying Clown. As far as Bedbugs go, I think you need to be following him on Instagram is at MMH Productions, and I will definitely check with him to see like other places that people could follow him if you want the physical release. As far as streaming goes, last time I checked with him, all of his stuff is currently streaming on the Troma streaming service. So I will have a link for the Troma streaming service. I honestly don't remember how much it is a month for that one. And long story short, of course, I would love to see more of my stuff get adapted. Will we ever get a collab video? All right, I want to point out, first and foremost, I am absolutely open to doing collabs with other YouTubers. Any movie YouTubers out there that want to do something, my socials are in the description down below. Definitely feel free to check that out. And to anyone that follows me through Writer434, if you want to do a collab video over there as well, again, just post something. All my social media links are in the description below, and I'm open to it. I want to point that out now. I want to 100% say I am open to doing collabs with other YouTubers. I've done 2 so far where it's an actual like full-on collab, not just like a mention on someone's channel, because myself and other people have done that with one another. I did a live stream with Ryan, aka RWR Movie Reviews, him, myself, and Dave over at The Dave Show. Did a live stream / Q&A over on Ryan's channel. I will have a link for that down below. And I also did a live watch-along of Bram Stoker's Dracula from Francis Ford Coppola with Andrew, aka Commander Nerd, over on his channel. So I have done stuff. As far as not doing stuff over here, I want to point out that a while back I did a poll because initially I wanted to do my top 5 MCU ranking video with other people because I know that my top 5 MCU movies are different from everyone else's. And when I did the poll, like, hey, who would like to see me do a collab video with some other YouTubers? It was like 70-30 with the 70% saying no. So that's why I haven't really done any collabs as far as that goes. And as far as not having some of my friends on the channel recently, part of that's just a scheduling thing. And part of it's just sometimes the videos that get more views tend to be the ones that are just me. So, again, I'm open to it. If you want to collab, my social media links are in the description below. I'm absolutely open to it. I've got ideas where I would love to do stuff. But last time that I asked the people that watch the channel, no one really seemed interested. So that's why it hasn't happened. I am not saying it will never happen, because again, I'd like to do something. Of the movie channels you are subscribed to, what is one channel that you would say is most similar to yours that I should check out? Alright, I want to point out that I just mentioned quite a few people that I'm going to have channel subscriptions to that you should all subscribe to. Hands down, definitely check out everyone I mentioned in the previous question. However, if I have to pick one specific channel that I think is most similar to myself, I am going to go with Simply Cinema with Joshua D. Faulkner. Like myself, he does movie reviews, he does rankings, he does haul videos. And just from like talking to him and stuff, for anyone that follows me through like book stuff, he is also an independent author too. So definitely check him out. I would probably say out of everyone that I might have the most similarities with as far as channels go, I would probably have to say Simply Cinema. And of course, like I said, I've mentioned quite a few other people. Give them a subscribe as well because all of them have great content. And that's going to do it for this one. If you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. You like what you see, leave a thumbs up. Comment down below. Were there any questions that you have, movie and Let's Watch a Movie related, that I did not answer? If so, put them down below. I will either answer them on Instagram or I will do a follow-up video. Anyone that I have mentioned in this video that I would suggest you subscribe to, please give them a subscribe. All of them make awesome content. And that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all for watching and tune in next time.